Two watches, same movement, same steel case, same water resistance. One costs $80, the other costs $1,200. The only real difference is the name on the dial. I've gone through the production costs, the marketing budgets, and the resale data for 6 brands. 3 are quietly taking more than they should. 3 are genuinely worth what they charge. Let's start with the brands to avoid. Starting at number 3. Number 3 is Daniel Wellington, and it has never pretended to be a watchmaker. And that's exactly the problem. Inside every classic model sits a Miyota quartz movement, a reliable, mass-produced engine that costs the company less than €5 to source. The watch itself is assembled for under €30 in total. It then retails for between €150 and €250. That's a markup of 500 to 800%. What fills that gap? Influencers. Up to 20% of Daniel Wellington's entire budget goes into a global ambassador network. Thousands of accounts posting the same wrist shot with a discount code in the bio. You've seen it. Everyone has. The result is a product where most of what you pay for exists only on a screen. There is no heritage, no mechanical innovation, no reason for the price beyond the campaign that created it. Here's the test I always use. What is this watch worth on the secondary market 6 months after you buy it? A Daniel Wellington classic that retailed for €200 will sell used for 40 to 60 euros. That is not depreciation. That is the market telling you what it was actually worth. Moving to number 2, TAG Heuer Carrera. This is a more complicated case because unlike Daniel Wellington, there is genuine history here. The Carrera's racing heritage is real. Jack Heuer designed the original in 1963, inspired by the Carrera Panamericana road race. That story is legitimate. The problem is what the brand costs you today versus what you are actually getting. A stainless steel Carrera with tags in-house Heuer 02 movement retails for around $4,700. That movement costs somewhere between $500 and $600 to produce, a figure consistent with industry estimates for movements at this level of complexity. The rest of that price? TAG Heuer spent $40 million on advertising in 2022 alone. Sponsorships, events, ambassadors. That money does not go into the watch. It goes into making you feel like the watch is worth $4,700. And the market agrees, reluctantly. The moment a Carrera leaves the boutique, it typically trades for under $2,500, nearly half the retail price, gone immediately. This is not a bad watch. But at this price, you are paying for the logo as much as the movement. And in 2026, that is a choice worth making consciously. And at number 1, Hublot Big Bang. This is the clearest example on this list of marketing achieving total victory over watchmaking. The entry-level model carries a retail price of $12,900. Inside sits a Sellita SD300, an off-the-shelf Swiss movement that manufacturers source for between $50 and $150 in bulk quantities. That is less than 1% of what you are paying at retail. Hublot's response to this would be, you are paying for the design, the materials, the brand. And to be fair, the Big Bang is a visually striking watch. The case finishing is competent, but the same level of finishing in a watch with a more honest movement to price relationship would cost a fraction of what Hublot charges. On the secondary market, basic steel Big Bangs trade for $7,000 to $8,000, a loss of 38 to 45% from retail. For context, a Rolex Submariner from the same era typically holds or exceeds its retail value. Hublot's advertising budget rivals its investment in actual watchmaking. Formula One partnerships, celebrity endorsements, high-profile event sponsorships. You are funding all of that every time you buy a Big Bang. That is not an accusation. It is just what the numbers show. Now, let's look at the other side of this, brands where the money you spend actually ends up in the watch. Number 3 on the value side, the Orient Bambino. For $120, it gives you something that most watch brands at 3 times the price won't. A movement built entirely in-house. The F6722 automatic caliber, designed, assembled, and regulated by Orient, offers a 40-hour power reserve, 22 joules, and a smooth 21,600 vibrations per hour sweep. It's not a borrowed movement. It's not outsourced to the cheapest available manufacturer. Orient builds it itself, which means parts availability is reliable and service costs stay manageable. The cost to retail ratio on the Bambino sits at roughly 1.3 to 1.8 times, meaning what you pay reflects what's actually in the watch, not a marketing department's ambitions. Owners consistently report 6 or more years of daily wear before needing any service. The domed mineral crystal and hand-finished dial details give it a presence that punches well above the price point. At $120, the Bambino is the clearest argument in watchmaking that honest manufacturing is still possible. Number 2. The Tissot PRX Powermatic 80. At $650 to $800, it does something unusual for Swiss watchmaking at this price. It earns its cost. The Powermatic 80 movement inside delivers an 80-hour power reserve, more than double what you would find in most entry-level Swiss automatics. Set it down Friday evening. It's still running Monday morning. That's a practical advantage, not a spec sheet number. The secret is a silicone hairspring, a component typically reserved for watches costing several $1,000s more. Silicon resists magnetic fields, the kind generated by laptops, phones, and the everyday environment that can throw standard hairsprings off by minutes per day. The integrated bracelet is finished with a precision that echoes watches from the 1970s without carrying the collector premium. A COSC certified chronometer option is available for buyers who want Swiss verified accuracy. The cost to retail ratio is between 1.6 and 2 times. Most of what you pay goes into the watch itself. That's a ratio that's increasingly rare in Swiss watchmaking at any price. And at number 1, the Casio G-Shock DB 600. It has been in continuous production since 1983. The design has not changed in any meaningful way since then. And that's not a failure of imagination. It is evidence that the original design solved the problem completely. The D600 is shock-resistant to drops from 10 meters and water-resistant to 200 meters. The quartz movement inside is accurate to within seconds per month, more precise than any mechanical movement at any price. The battery lasts up to 10 years. When it runs out, a replacement costs less than a cup of coffee. Retail price is $45 to $55. The cost to retail ratio is the tightest on this list. Almost every dollar you spend goes directly into durability and function. Military units use it. First responders use it. It has been documented surviving conditions that would destroy watches costing 200 times as much. There is no celebrity ambassador, no Formula One partnership, no Instagram campaign. Casio has spent 40 years simply building the same watch, making it slightly better where the engineering allowed, and selling it for less than a restaurant meal. In a market where hype is the primary product, the DB 600 is a reminder that honest engineering still exists, and that it does not have to cost you much to find it. If you want to know which watch complications are actually worth paying for, that's the next video.